Well, if you've been watching some of your favorite Heartland country artists on social media, you've probably seen them posting about the upcoming Trails of Tales Songwriter Festival in Deadwood, South Dakota. And we've got the man behind it joining us right now. Singer, songwriter, and now event promoter. I don't know. How many titles do you have? Producer? You do so many different things. DJ Bridwell joins us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Adam. Yeah, I suppose there's probably a few hats, but Luke and I were talking about it the other day. It's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, maybe. So
That's the way it works out sometimes. I feel the same. Of course, you're talking about Luke Mills, and he's going to be a part of this event as well. Tell me a little bit about what exactly this is, the Trails of Tales Songwriter Festival.
so about a year ago, Luke Mills and I, we went, Dylan Bloom and I went up to Deadwood and went up there for what they call the Wild West Songwriter Fest. And out of all the years that I've been doing this, of course, when I went last year, I just recently kind of stepped away from the stage, and when we went up there, it was a pretty inspiring thing. There's a fly in here; it's bothering me, but it was a pretty inspiring thing to go out and see all of these artists that some of us we hadn't even heard. Matter of fact, we met Drew Phillips there for the first time and asked him to come join our show later that night, and it was an extremely humbling experience because the artist. There's so many people out there. Nebraska's. If you're in Nebraska's music scene, you're kind of limited to the Nebraska artist, or you may have friends on the outside of the state, but there's still thousands and thousands or millions more of these songwriters. And so basically over the last year, I just got to thinking. I was like, well, I could. They have an application process for theirs, the Wild West Songwriter Fest, and I had made some relationships up in Deadwood through this past year, going up there and going to different bars and playing. And through these relationships, I was able to secure 3 venues and birthed this brainchild of an idea to do a songwriter fest showcasing more of our region and getting my hands kind of wet with that, I guess, if you will. And I love the event side of it, the event promotions, and I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm an extremely organized guy when it comes to stuff like that. So, I've had the itinerary for this built since the day the final schedule was made, and it's really come together nicely. And I look forward to being able to showcase everybody. So,
I think for as long as we've been friends, DJ, you have talked about ways to highlight the talent and the artists that we have here in this part of the world. And this Trails of Tales Songwriters Fest is coming up October 17th, 18th, and 19th in Deadwood, South Dakota. Who all is going to be involved with this? How do you envision this all laying out?
So first off, we in the 3 venues, one of them has just a little bit smaller of a stage. So we'll have DSP, which is Dean Schaefer Productions, another buddy of ours. It has graciously donated his time for it to come up there and set up all 3 venues. He's going to have sound checks at different times. I'll help him, but ultimately, he'll handle the sound checks across all 3 of those venues. We're going to go up on Wednesday. The music will actually start. I think Drew and Dylan, possibly me, are going to play a show on Wednesday night when we get up there, just to kind of kick things off. And then Thursday at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and 8 p.m. Actually, all 3 of those days, that will be the music slots. So the first 2 music slots at the 2 and 4 p.m. will be 3 chairs in every venue except for the Nugget. It'll have 2 chairs, and it'll be a songwriters round. So to just kind of go down the line, traditional writers round kind of style. And then at 4 p.m., they'll play for about an hour 15, somewhere in there, hour 20. And then another group will come up and they'll rotate different chairs and different venues and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we have almost 20 artists, I think 19 artists that are signed up over the course of 3 days for 67 performances.
Oh, man, 3 venues operating simultaneously for 3 days. All afternoon into the evening time. And what you're talking about is going in depth with the songs and hearing the stories behind the songs, and then the artist will play them. One of my favorite ways to watch, enjoy music. could you mention some more? You've mentioned a few of the artists that will be there. Can you kind of go through the list with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm good, but I don't have everybody memorized. So
Well, you said
um,
19 of them. That would be pretty good if you could come up, recall all of them instantly.
I would probably be close, but it would be about 5 minutes worth of content on here. So um, Drew Phillips, Nebraska native, North Platte, out from that area. And as you know, I've become extremely close friends with him and worked with him a lot over the last year. Hockett, of course, everybody knows the wild and crazy Hockett, especially if you're listening to this radio station. Another buddy of mine that I really didn't meet until the Backroad Diaries deal last year, which is Casey Cameron, um, part of Cali, Indiana, that whole deal. But Casey Cameron will be up there. Another Nebraska native. He doesn't live here now, but Todd Kiefer. And Todd Kiefer is a guy that he's from the Deadwood area, and Dylan Bloom and I actually were up there about a month ago, and we got linked up with this Todd. He come up and set up on our stage after we were done one night, and I was extremely impressed, not only with his songwriting but his vocal ability in general. Another Nebraska native, Kyle Saylor, and I've yet to meet him, but another new friend that I've reached out to, Brandon Logston. He's from here in Nebraska as well, and he actually just got done cutting a single, so we should be hearing some new stuff from him pretty soon. Of course, as mentioned earlier, Dylan Bloom, he'll be there. We actually share the stage together, I believe Wednesday night before everything kicks off, one time Thursday and one time Friday, so we get to play together quite a bit. Caleb Smith, who you guys might know from Downtown Nowhere. He is going to be up there, Nebraska native. Wyoming, I'm going to say Wyoming, but he's actually from North Platte, 15 County. Russ Brown from Southern Fried, so some of you might have heard from him. And then, former contestant on The Voice, Savannah Chestnut, is going to be there. She'll be hanging out basically all 3 days and playing at least once, if not twice, throughout the days. Kimberly Meyer, another Nebraska artist. I was doing so good. And let's see, Kylie Barwick from Holdridge, I believe. Is that where she's from?
Yeah, originally
Alma?
from the
Alma?
Holdridge, Alma area, Cozad now.
Okay, Cozad. Brady James, local favorite there around the Kearney area. I met and shared the stage. I haven't shared the stage with him, but met him at Joe's Honky Tonk. He's been there quite a few times, and he's a great artist. I'm gonna mess this name up because Tim Van Scoyk, and shame on me for not knowing how to pronounce it, but I'm not the kind of guy. I'm too proud to ask sometimes. So Cole Ryan coming from Colorado. If you're familiar with, and this is actually how I kind of got a hold of him, but Troy Sheets has been involved with the music industry out in Colorado with the Greeley Stampede, and then also with the Rocky Mountain Country Music Awards. And I believe, I might be mistaken, but I believe this is his son-in-law. He actually forwarded him on to me. Late Friday night, Luke Mills is going to join Dylan Bloom and I up on stage. He's only got one performance up there, but he's going to be hanging out I believe, actually he comes in on Friday, so he'll be there Friday and Saturday. A couple more. I have a guy and a girl coming from Colorado that I am extremely impressed with. Not that I'm putting them above or below any other artist up there, but funny how that happens. I was actually just scrolling TikTok one day, and my favorite song of all time is Angel by Aerosmith. And this Eli Ray was covering it. It's him and his brother, I believe. And so I immediately messaged him. I'm like, dude, I got this Songwriter Fest going on. I think he thought it was a scam at first. And then I messaged him. I'm like, this is not a scam. It's not a joke. Please respond. A couple days later, he got back with me, and I was able to secure him and a co-writer / friend of his, Aubrey Dale. She'll be coming up, and they'll be sharing the stage too, Friday and Saturday. And let's see. I don't know if I'm forgetting anybody. I hope I'm not. I think I mentioned Kyle Saylor. I think that pretty much covers it. If I missed anybody, I extremely apologize. I don't have the final schedule in front of me. but I did my best to remember on that part. One
I
cool
imagine.
thing.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. On Friday night, so one cool thing that we're going to do, there's the center venue. So all three of these venues they're three separate bars slash casinos all attached to each other. So it starts and I call it west to east, but I'm not sure how it lies in Deadwood. I believe it's actually north to south. But from west to east would be, in my opinion, the brothel bar, the Eagle, and then the Nugget. And the Eagle being the center venue is a bigger venue with a bigger stage and everything. So we'll have music going on. I believe Kylie Barwick and Aubrey Dale are going to be playing at like 6 o'clock. And at 6:30 that night, on Friday night, we're going to have an open to the public artist social hour, if you will. So anybody that's been traveling the streets of Deadwood, they want to come walking in and meet their new favorite artist, or just meet the artist in general. Everybody's going to try to be. I think most everybody that's there is going to try to make it for that time frame, and then we're going to have a meal. There'll be, if you'll know you're in the right area, because I heard that there's going to be a bunch of brothel girls standing outside and waving you in. So we're gonna have anyway a meal, an artist social hour, and then 8 o'clock, Dylan, Luke, and I will take stage, and then the other two venues are kind of shut down during that time. And just a big thank you and everything before we continue on to Saturday.
Now, are all of these music performances? What's the cost of a ticket? How can people come to watch?
There's $0. We're not charging. The artists themselves have actually donated their time. We're including their Venmo and stuff like that. So if somebody's walking the streets of Deadwood, they come in, they really enjoy an artist, we encourage to tip them, because like I said, the artists are, they're traveling, they're covering their own room expenses. So many people have donated their time to this to make this thing a reality. I mean, there's not one single person that I've cut a check for, and there's not one coming back to me. This is all about the artist, and it's all about showcasing our region's talent and embracing it.
That speaks a lot to the music community as a whole, that many people would be willing to come together over songwriting and over music.
Yeah, and it's extremely humbling experience too. And I kind of get goosebumps when I talk about this part. But when we were in Deadwood last year, Deadwood's crowd during that time, there's going to be quite literally thousands of people walking up and down the streets of Deadwood. This is a huge event for the city of Deadwood, and we're not. That was another thing that kind of got tossed around. Are we like competing or something like that? It absolutely has nothing to do with competition. I think that they complement each other well. And I love what they've done for the Wild West Songwriter Fest. Just the way that when you walk into a building, you could literally hear a pin drop in one of the loudest bars in there. Everybody sits down, they listen to the music. That's what they're there for. They're traveling to Deadwood to go to listen to songwriters. And that says a lot to me, because we've played a lot of writers rounds, or we'll play, how we do the four of us singer-songwriters get up on stage and just play. And it's always in a kind of a louder environment. Nobody really kind of picks up on the lyrics of songs and stuff like that. Some of these artists are younger and they have never done anything like that. And then that's where you come in. We're giving you the Eagle, which is the center venue for all three of those days. And thank you again for donating your time. But to help promote and kind of some of these artists, help tell the story a little bit better about what their original song's about, who they are, where they're from, where they, people can find them at the end of the day. If they're going to be there in a crowd of people that might not have ever heard of them before, who better than to tell them who you are than one of the biggest music supporters around that I know, especially, indie music, and that being you, Adam. So
I appreciate it. I just thank you for the opportunity to be a part of the Trails of Tales Songwriter Fest. I'm looking forward to it. The intimate type shows where you really get to know the artist as a human being through their music and through how they talk about their music that's my favorite. That's the ultimate. And that's what this is all about over all 3 days. Again, October 17th, 18th, 19th, Deadwood, South Dakota. It's free to attend, free to watch the music. support your favorites. What else do we need to let people know about, DJ?
I there's going to be limited amount of rooms up there. Obviously, if there's not already, I know that there's still a few left, but you're definitely going to want to get your rooms. Enjoy one day, enjoy 2 days, go on Sturgis, whatever it is. Pick your favorite artist and what day there is. The schedule will be released here soon. I finished it today. I've got to tweak some things and then it'll be complete. But yeah, come enjoy a day or all 3 days and hang out with us. I know that us 2019 artists, in yourself, DSP, both of you guys have been a huge help. The venues, all them donating their space for a cause for people that they don't know, and I thank them for entrusting in me to bring, 20 artists together. We're all looking forward to hanging out. We would love to hang out with some of you guys as well. So yeah, every day I'll be in the venues from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single day at minimum. So, music kicks off at 12 or at 2, but I'll be there from, for sure with the doors open from 12 o'clock on. So
starting at 2 o'clock each of the 3 days with the music, rotating artists every couple of hours or so.
Yep.
And I am just like you. I'm looking forward to hanging out with some of my best friends and making some new ones while we're up there. Absolutely. And getting to know what they're all about.
Yeah. And I think it's a great networking tool, for Nebraska artists that want shows in Colorado or want shows in Wyoming or vice versa, or even in South Dakota, and getting their name up there to where, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. The venue owners and stuff that come up to that is absolutely ridiculous. There's just hundreds, if not 1,000 venue owners that walk around up there the entire time and pick up acts, that they're interested in, as well as other world-renowned songwriters will be in the area. So
music fans, songwriters, artists, come on out and join us in Deadwood, South Dakota. It's coming up October 17th, 18th, and 19th. Again, the venues are the Nugget, the Brothel Bar, and the Eagle. And we look forward to seeing you there. DJ, thanks for taking some time to talk about the festival.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
We'll see you soon.